Good morning, my beautiful brothers and sisters in Yeshua. Today is Monday, the 28th of October 2024. It is 11:32 a.m. here in Australia. I hope you're doing very well and I hope you've been blessed. I thought I'd just jump on today. I'm not going to do a study video today. I'll do that very soon. But there's a couple of videos that I want to share with you, brothers and sisters, and I want to talk to you about them. And also a video I want to link when you've got an hour spare at night time or when you're having a coffee in the afternoon, whatever it may be. Please go and watch this video. My dear brother Brad sent it to me a few nights ago and I watched it that night and then in the morning because it was that good. I took notes and I really, really believe it'll be a benefit to those of you that are searching for the truth. So I will share that before the end of this video. So I'm just going to show you a collection of things and yeah, let's just talk about it because, you know, life is weird. So this one is about bees.
They found pots of honey in Egyptian temples.
Yeah.
And they break it open.
Yeah.
Still 100% good.
Really?
Yeah. So honey, it cannot, microbes, bacteria, nothing can form in it. Well, what they've recently figured out is it's essentially sound frequency that creates the honey, that the bee's wings. So when a bee goes and pulls the pollen out of a flower and he goes into his hive, the flapping of all those wings together creates, so the sound actually creates that hexagonal shape, those little hexagon, the honeycomb looking
So the
things.
frequency coming off of their wings is essentially creating that snowflake
effect.
Yeah.
And then at the same time as they're vomiting up the honey essentially into those combs, as the frequency, it purifies it in a way and preserves it to where it cannot be touched, dude. Wow. It's the most purest, and it can give all kinds of nutrients, good bacteria. Fungus can't touch it, nothing can touch it.
Okay, that was incredibly awesome. Hang on, I'll just get rid of this. Yeah, so the reason I wanted to show you that is because it reminded me when I was watching it, when we were doing videos late last year coming to early this year about the millennial kingdom and how it's already been in the past. So this is a hard one for me because I'm pretty much on the side of the belief and understanding through research, through a lot of study, that the book of Revelation is some kind of Freemasonic, Judaic playbook, script book, okay? And that's what they're following. They're using it against us. It's a script. It's a playbook. That's literally what it is. And they're using that against us to instill us with fear and of this idea of futurism, okay? And while we're on the topic of futurism, it's just come to my mind now. I want to show you something that I don't think too many people have caught on to, okay? So we're going to look at the word temple in the Bible, and we're going to go to Revelation. I want to show you something, brothers and sisters, because this, I suppose I said that we weren't going to do a study video, but you know, it all comes back to the truth and everything seems to be falling apart now. And I was lying in bed last night and I was thinking about that verse where it talks about measuring the temple. Here we are, measuring the temple. So Revelation 11. So let's go to the full chapter. Okay, and we're going to go to, we'll just go to King James just for the sake of ease. Okay, now, this is supposed to be a revelation that John's getting, okay? That John is supposed to be getting of what we consider the millennial kingdom. You know, he's seen heaven and he's seen all these things happen, and he's seen the mark of the beast and all this kind of stuff. Now, in previous videos, I like to touch on this stuff in every video because, you know, people forget. But if you go to the Geneva Bible translation, you'll see in the footnotes that the beast was described as Nero. And the mark of the beast was a thing called libellus, which was a scroll that you had to carry around with you that would state that you would worship the pagan statues, you would offer them incense, and if you did not have this scroll, you could not buy and sell in the marketplace. All this has already happened, brothers and sisters. Now, a little backstory too. Please note when in Matthew 24, like we talked about in the last video, that Matthew 24 has already happened in the past, okay? When Matthew 24 is talking about, when you therefore see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel, then those in Judea flee. If you go to Daniel, the book of Daniel, you'll see the word abomination 3 times if you search that up. 3 times it's talking about the abomination that's going to be set up in this temple. But people keep forgetting that Daniel was having this prophecy of the second temple, brothers and sisters. So Daniel's prophecy of the second temple of the abomination of desolation is the same thing Jesus is talking about. Okay, it's the same thing Jesus is talking about. So they're prophesying of the same thing. And then you've also got to throw in the mix there that in around, I think, 163 BC, Antiochus went into the temple also too and placed a pig on the altar and the statue of Zeus in the temple and all that kind of stuff too. So that was an abomination. These things have already happened. Okay, this is why Matthew 24 never talks about the mark of the beast. That is not a future thing that we need to look for. The time of trouble, like never was and never will be again, has already happened. The Great Tribulation was 70 AD, brothers and sisters. It's, you know. Anyway, I'm sure you guys who have followed me for a while now understand this. You're probably sick of hearing it, but it really needs to be drummed into people that we've got to be really, 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 really wary of the Bible. I'm just going to say it straight out. We've got to be wary of the Bible. The Old Testament talks about a God that is not our Father in heaven, okay? And the New Testament, other than Jesus's words, Paul, he goes on his own little tangent. He says many times, this is my gospel. You know, I was the one who received this. This is my gospel. And Paul was the one who brought up the whole, you've got to be covered in the blood of Jesus Christ, and you've got to believe in the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ to be saved. But Jesus never ever mentions this. Jesus never ever mentions this. And we can know this for sure by knowing that Mark is the original gospel and Matthew and Luke copied from it. And Mark does not have the birth story of Jesus, and Mark does not have the resurrection story of Jesus. Okay, because Mark chapter 16 only has 8 verses. Verses 9 to 20 in Mark chapter 16 have been added. You can research it, look it into yourself, and that's the resurrection story. But Mark chapter 16 verse 8 plainly states, look, I'll show you. We'll go there right now. So you know that I'm not bluffing you. So we'll go to Mark 16. Okay, so Mark 16. Go have a look in your own. If you've got a selection of different translations of the Bible, go have a look at Mark 16 and then read down the bottom, and you'll see that it says verses 9 to 20 were not in the original codex, okay? They were not in the original. So Mark 16:8, the last verse in the original codex says, and they went out quickly, they fled from the sepulchre or the tomb, and for they trembled and were amazed, neither said they anything to any man, for they were afraid. This is a big problem, brothers and sisters. This is a huge problem. Okay, you've got these women who were afraid, they trembled, they ran away, and they never spoke of this again. And then the story ends. Mark is finished. The whole book of Mark is finished. There is no resurrection story. There is no birth story, because Mark 1 starts at the baptism of Jesus. But Matthew and Luke have added a whole heap of drama. And then you can go research yourself. The Council of Nicaea, that is the one that added the Immaculation Conception or the Virgin Birth. They did the Council of Nicaea did that on the Second Council of Nicaea, which was in about 700 and something AD. Okay, the First Council of Nicaea was the whole Trinity. They were like, no, Jesus is not the Son of God, he is God, blah blah blah. And then the second one, Council of Nicaea, really focused on the Immaculate Conception and the whole veneration of Mary and all that kind of stuff. So that's something to really think about, brothers and sisters. This whole... and then when I told you before in the previous video about how the Egyptian... there's this very special wall in the pyramid or whatever that shows and depicts how the ritual of creating gods, basically. And they had these two young boys, I'd say, that would collect the stuff from Osiris off his legs, wrap it in cotton wool, and this would be inserted into the priestesses. And this would happen on Easter, okay, or Eshta. And sure enough, on the 25th of December, the child would be born and they'd be considered a demigod. Point of the story is, brothers and sisters, this is a lot of BS. Okay, a lot of BS, and our search, our lifelong search, and our trial and our journey is to find, the real kingdom of heaven. And the reality of that is, it's in yourself. It's within. That's exactly what Jesus said. You cannot observe anywhere. You can't look here, you can't look there to see the kingdom of heaven. It is inside you. Okay, we've been lied to, brothers and sisters, not by Jesus, not by Father, not by the source creator, but by man, by the enemy, by ourselves, okay? But anyway, so getting back to Revelation, what originally I started this thing wanting to tell you. Okay, we have here in Revelation 11 that John is given a rod to measure the temple of God and the altar and those that worship therein. Okay, so people straight away would say, okay, this is the temple in heaven because it's the temple of God, the altar, and the people that worship in. So it must be in heaven. Wrong. Because the next verse says, but the court which is without the temple leave out, and measure it not, for it's given to the Gentiles, and the holy city shall they tread under foot for 42 months, okay, for 3.5 years. This again is talking about 70 AD. In 66 AD, on Passover, the Romans first infiltrated Jerusalem because all the different tribes came to Jerusalem to celebrate Passover. So the Romans were smart. They waited till they were all gathered together. They waited till the Sabbath. This is why it says, pray that your flight is not in the winter or on a Sabbath. And they first started attacking them, but they couldn't penetrate the walls. So the Romans retreated. This is what's spoken of when it said, when you see the armies compassing around Jerusalem, you know the desolation is near, so flee. Those in Judea, flee, get out. So those in Judea who are right near the temple, they seen this penetration or, potential, and it didn't happen. So the Romans went back, regrouped, and then those in Judea had time to flee. And those who listened and understood the prophecy did. Okay, so this is one example of, you could say Revelation's already been fulfilled too. The next one, he is measuring a temple that is both the temple of God and also too, just outside of that, there's wicked people, right? Trampling on the holy city in the court. So there it shows you this is talking about a physical temple here on earth. And again, this John is seeing the temple that is standing there right now, that hasn't been destroyed yet because it's 66 or whatever. So the point of what I'm trying to say is, brothers and sisters, is all this, how can John see a temple being built and then people trampling, being wicked on the outside? Because he's obviously not seeing the one in heaven, so he's still seeing that second temple. It hadn't been destroyed yet. This is what he was having a prophecy of, brothers and sisters. Not something that's in the future and then we've got 1,000-year, 1,000-year rulership over everything and we're going to rule with a rod of iron. We've gone through this many times. You go back to the Old Testament, you have a look at what they will say. Yes, this is the prophecy of the millennial reign in the Old Testament when you look in Isaiah and stuff like this. But again, you've got to read the whole chapter. People are taking one or two verses and saying, yes, this, there's going to be peace. The lion's going to lay down with the lamb, even though it says the wolf and the lamb now. But, everything that it speaks of in the Old Testament about the millennial reign, so-called, fulfilling prophecy, is absolutely not true. For instance, it talks about, I can't remember, Isaiah 43 it might be, where, if you are cursed, you might live to 100 or, people are going to have long life and all this kind of stuff. I can't remember where it is now, but I will have a look in a second to prove it to you. But it's talking about still dying. And then it's talking about also, those of you who do not come up to the Feast of Tabernacles every year, you're going to have plagues on your, on your crop, on your farm, whatever you've got. It literally says this. So is this supposed to represent heaven? There's going to be plagues in heaven and famine still? Like, this doesn't make sense. And then, the point of what I'm trying to say is, I know I ramble a lot. I like to use this microphone to empty out my my head thoughts. But this is a huge reason why the Jews ended up killing Jesus, was because they were expecting more than anything a new king, right? This is why they tried to link him with King David, and they were expecting to rule the world. They were expecting to rule with a rod of iron, and the whole world be under their thumb, and that the Jews were the chosen and the highest and the greatest out there. And Jesus didn't bring that. He came to admonish them, basically. It is the only reason Jesus came, to save the lost house of Israel, because they were the only ones that were tripping and going on that wrong path like that. Everybody else had, everybody else is good, brothers and sisters. The tax collectors, the prostitutes, the publicans, we're all good because we're all children of the Most High, So this whole millennial reign thing, thinking that we're going to be reigning with Christ and, telling everybody what to do and grovel on your knees, and it's just ridiculous. That's not what Jesus came to do. And this is the biggest reason why he said, you are looking for the kingdom of heaven, right? The kingdom of heaven is something you cannot observe, for it's within you. And so they hated that message. That's like saying, money doesn't make you happy. You got to find it from the inside. The people who are starving and poor and have no money at all, they look at you with a blank look on their face and say, "You're kidding, right? Why would you tell me that? What's the point of that?" So this is why it made the Jews angry, because Jesus didn't bring that that Jewish rulership that they were expecting. And anyway, so let's get back to the next video that I wanted to share. But that bees, that was a cool little TikTok video there, because it showed you heaps of things. It shows you that honey and honeycomb are literal, tangible sounds. That's what it is. Honey is a sound, an edible sound. And I'm like, oh my goodness, it's no wonder it is the one thing on earth that is preserved. You know, they've found honey in Egypt that's 3,000 years old and there's nothing wrong with it. You know, and this is exactly how the beautiful cathedral buildings were created, through sound, through harmonics and cymatics and all this stuff. Now, what period and era and eon we were when this went down? Maybe it was when Jesus walked the earth because of his high frequency. I don't know. Maybe it was, you know, I don't know. I think the time construct has really stuffed us up. You know, I truly believe that Noah's flood was the mud flood, what we talk about with Tartaria being wiped out and all this kind of stuff. But then again, you know, what even is that even true? Are we just in a dream? And the video that I wanted to share with you, that my brother Brad linked me to, shows us exactly that. And the more and more and more I relax and let the knowledge come to me rather than researching and trying to go down rabbit holes, I'm more comfortable with the fact that it does not matter that this is a dream. Nothing matters the way it is, because the end result will always be the same, and that's we're going to go home soon. We're going to be breaking free of this matrix, simulation, curse, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, anyway. So, let's go back to this. Now, I'm going to give you a bit of a warning before I show you this. Those of you who have still got a lot of Christianity in you, you're probably going to look at this and go, oh, this is demonic, because this fella here, he channels, okay? He channels this guy named Bashar. Now, you may think it's foolish and trippy and whatever it may be, demonic. It doesn't matter. I thought that at the beginning because of what I've been indoctrinated to believe. But the more I watch it, like, this guy has just this incredible ability to speak absolute facts and truth. And like when I watch this, I'm like, oh my goodness, that's so true. That's so true. And so basically what this guy is about is he channels this alien, let's just call him an alien, named Bashar. And this alien is like, he's a good guy, right? He's part of the alliance of humanity. And so he basically has been doing this for a long time, and he's been, telling people why they experience pain and how they can live their best life and be full of joy and all this kind of stuff. It's really, really good. Long story short is he's talking about here that we're very, very, very close to contact, open contact with, aliens, terrestrials, ETs, whatever you want to call them, right? And this got me thinking, because of the Christianity background that I have. A great big majority of hardcore Christians will believe that aliens, inverted commas, what would you call them? Fallen angels, right? And so that they've been telling everybody this for years. You know, when the alien invasion come, don't believe it. It's the government. It's Project Bluebeam. It's the fallen angels, right? Stay away from it. Don't be deceived. Jesus told you not to be deceived, right? So you've got millions and billions and billions of Christians prepared to reject these entities, beings, sentients, whatever you want to call them, right? Imagine this for a second, brothers and sisters, that everything is just such a lie. Oh my goodness, I don't even know how to just put this into words. But imagine if the whole alien thing, you know, there's a lot of good aliens and out there that sorry. Look, I'm just chatting with you, you know, I'm just thinking out loud. Imagine if there's a bunch of good aliens that have been fighting the heavenly wars for ages for us, right? And now it's come to the time in our history where, because we have started to acknowledge them since the 1970s or something, and now it's pretty common knowledge. It's on the news now, you know, that there's aliens, and apparently there's this huge mothership right outside our solar system, whatever, okay? But apparently, because we have come to a point where enough people have accepted them and are aware of them, now they can make contact with us, okay? And now they can help, because it's kind of like they're our kind of like guardians, if you want to say. So they can guide us, but they can't do anything for us. We've got to make that choice. It's our experience, it's our lessons to learn, if you know what I'm saying. But now we're getting to the point now where we're going to be able to have contact with them, and we'll have more help. And I think this is really exciting, brothers and sisters. And I know from where I was a year ago to what I'm saying now sounds absolutely insane. Believe me, I hear myself saying it. But I said to Father right at the beginning of this year, when I broke down and cried and was, like, what the hell's going on with this rapture thing, Father? Is this even real? I said, look, I don't care. If the tribulation's real, I have to get my head cut off, my kids taken away, all that. If that's the real deal, that's the absolute truth, I will shout it from the rooftop, So I didn't care how uncomfortable the truth was going to be. And I never thought it would be this freeing. I never, ever, ever thought having the knowledge and understanding of this stuff would be the peace that surpasses all understanding. I never thought that, because we're told to think this is demonic, and we're told not to rely on feelings and things like this. But this is what we are as humans. If we can't rely on instincts and feelings and all that stuff, then what are we, robots? Maybe we were oh my goodness, what if it's reverse? What if we were all AI and now we're coming back into humanity because we're waking up? We were just robotic for so long. Yes sir, no sir, 3 bags full sir. And now, now we're waking up. But, sorry, I blab, I know. Open contact soon. Fallen angel agenda for millions of Christians to reject them. Because I had this theory on another video when I was doing the millennial reign, and talking about the New Jerusalem coming out of heaven. I suggested the same thing. I said, what if that's why they were saying, the alien agenda and reject it, when really it's not a mothership, it's actually the New Jerusalem. But, I just think whatever we've been told is the reverse, or inside out, or back to front. So, anyway, let's see this and we'll talk afterwards.
We're about to have open contact. I think it's actually pretty imminent now. And they will reintroduce themselves to our society now that we have evolved to a certain point where we're starting to explore the idea of expansion of consciousness. We're starting to understand we're not alone in the universe, and all these kinds of things open us up to being able to receive them again, but more as equals rather than as something so much greater than us. Yes, they are more advanced, but that doesn't necessarily mean on a soul level that they're better than us. So once we have arrived at this point where we may be ready to understand how to interact with extraterrestrials, I think we're about to be reintroduced to them in the next few years.
That's really exciting. And that is actually what I'm hearing again and again from several channelers. Now, have Bashar said anything about how that will look like?
All right. So as you can hear there, that might. I think it's the next video I want to show you, but that's the guy Bashar, and that's another thing. Looking at that scary alien picture. Sorry, I don't know why there's a huge noise next door. Oh, great! There's a wood chipper next door. Well, we're just gonna have to keep pushing on. Oh yes, that scary alien picture. That's another thought I had. I thought, what if that's why all the movies of aliens and stuff, they always came to, like, you know, kill us, and like the aliens movie and Men in Black and Independence Day, and you know, they're always out to hurt us. And what if that is the reverse true, that they're trying to paint them in that ugly picture, because that's what they do with good people here, right? If the good people are speaking up and saying things they shouldn't say, then they will, you know, blanch their character and make them seem crazy. And so what's to say they wouldn't do that for, you know, a possibility of a whole group of alien beings out there that are trying to, you know, intervene and help us reach the new heavens and the new earth? And what if, you know, they've been tarnished by man's indoctrination and religion, and I don't know. Who knows? I could be completely wrong, and they could be horrific aliens, whatever. And I could be completely wrong, and we could just all be in a dream and wake up from this, you know. The wonderful thing is that I have peace no matter which way it goes, because I know the end result, and that's victory's been won. This is a waiting room here, and, you know, we've just got to go with it and do the best that we can, enjoy the best life that we can. All right, this is a cool one. This is from the same guy. I was telling my kids about this morning, because this would be fantastic.
One of the gifts that I've been told they will be giving us when we have open contact is holographic representations of our complete history, going back thousands of years. So we will be able to fill in the gaps of what's missing and understand where we came from, and therefore where we're going. So I'm very excited about that. They would literally be able to show us holographic representations of Atlantis, of, you know, dinosaurs, of all these things that we have been investigating and speculating about for so long, and they actually have recordings of these things that they will give us. So that'll be exciting.
Oh my. This is just getting more and more exciting.
All right, so that's great. So that one of the gifts that when we have open contact with whatever they are, is we're going to see a holographic history being shown to us. And I suppose this is why they say in movies and stuff like that when a person dies, you know, they see their whole life flash before their eyes, or they get a life review. And, you know, I always thought actually that was one of the biggest reasons why they spray the air. You know, sorry about that noise, they're cutting down trees and chipping them. You know, I always thought that was the biggest reason why the planes were spraying the air, was because the same chemicals that are in the spray in the air is the same chemicals for an LCD screen. So that's, for at least a decade, I always thought, I bet you that's the reason why they're spraying the sky, is to coat it and coat it and coat it with this chemical for an LCD screen, so that when the big event happens, it's literally going to be like a massive what do you call those? Not auditoriums, but the big dome. That that thing in Los Angeles, is it? The big dome? It's going to be like that. Complete 8D surround sound. It's going to be incredible. So, let me see what else I had to show you. Okay, I just came across this a little while ago, and why did I share this? Oh, that's right. Now, this is AI, okay? I'll just show you. This is a new app that you can get that can put your little daughter or son or whatever with their grandparent that's already passed on and can make a little video. It's absolutely amazing, okay? So they've got the picture of the little girl and grandma's passed on, but they can put them together and make them move. I mean, now the reason I'm showing you this, brothers and sisters, is because the video that I'm going to link that my brother Brad sent me, this woman resonates to me like I've never heard before. And she's basically, in a nutshell, she's saying that this is all a dream, and that every experience that we go through, we choose, we create our own reality, to the point of she got shown, because she also had a near-death experience, and she got shown when she was 18 months old that she was having a big tantrum on the floor, and I can't remember how exactly she understood that she, as an 18-month-old, chose to act like that and make a problem. Oh, that's right, because her mum was putting on little shoes for her, right? She was 18 months old, and like a few 18-month-old, they don't want to wear shoes, right? But apparently they were quite poor, and so this should have been a blessing, because her mum was trying to protect her and put shoes on her feet. It should have been a wonderful situation and experience, but this 18-month-old was physically able to choose to have a tantrum, okay? And now, I never thought of that, because when you look at young children like that, you think, oh, I'm glad my kid doesn't do that. Or you think, it's a child, they can't help themselves. That's what children do. But then you think, there's quite a lot of children that are very well behaved and, that don't do that. So we must understand choice right from birth. Free will. I think we come straight into this world being free will, and I think sometimes that's maybe even to the point of why some babies can be a happy, contented baby, sleep well, and others can choose, to make life a little bit more difficult. I don't know. But just looking at this video, I'm thinking, imagine the Matrix movie where Neo wakes up in the capsule and he looks over and there's millions and billions of other capsules and everybody's asleep and it hooked up to this thing, and that we're all dreaming. And I've shown you in a video before, that's exactly how I feel in my spirit, what's happening here. What's really the truth is that we are in heaven, our spirits are with Papa. This is why we should have no fear or doubt, because nothing can hurt us, nothing can touch us. It is our own experience, our own choice, our own free will of how good or how shitty our life is going to be. But we thought it was a great idea to have this human experience, and like I said, I think the reason we did that is because Father, the source, the creator, wanted to experience every single thing there is to experience. So he fractalized himself out into millions and billions and trillions of fractalizations, whatever you want to call it. And we are those millions and billions of fractalizations. And we are gathering, like scouts, all the information, the experiences, the happiness, the joys, the highs, the low, the pain, the suffering, the love, all the things, and we're bringing it back home. Okay, but I think this is all to the point, you know the movie Inside Out? I was saying this to my kids this morning on the way to school. I'm like, what if we are up there somewhere controlling ourselves, in this life, in this experience? And oh my goodness, it's tripping me out. And that's right, because I was thinking about, that experiment that people say, okay, take the word rock star, okay? Take that word rock star. Now I want you to say it, but don't speak it. Just say it in your head, okay? Ready, set, go. Okay, now who said rock star in your head? What voice was that? And thinking about this being a dream, and like we're up there at the control center and our brain is somehow like a memory RAM. I'm not techo, so I don't know what the terminology is, but we're actually steering the ship from up there. Oh my goodness, I don't know, I'm tripping. But everything's a possibility now. And like seeing this kind of AI stuff, I mean, this is what we see. Imagine what the elites and the people with the highest technology, this is probably ancient stuff. So is this our reality right here? Is it all computerized? Is it all simulated and we're just dreaming and we're controlling, and we're the ones actually, when we close our eyes and be still, when we listen to our thoughts, that's us up there? And because I always thought there was three people in my head. I always thought there was me, there was an angel, and there was a devil. But they're all me. They're all me. And I can choose to create a good existence or a bad existence. It's really legit as easy as that. So that's why I wanted to show you that. And I don't think there's really anything else I wanted to show you, except for linking you to a video. I've got two videos here. Oh yes, here we go. So that's the other one, and here we go. This is connecting to the mothership. So this is a lady that's, again, she obviously can connect and channel and all this kind of thing. And I'm not the first one to say this, so it's not crazy, but apparently there is this, like, I'll just do a quick Google search now, but apparently there's this big mothership that's outside our solar system. So let's just do that. Mother ship outside our solar system. Okay, this is livescience.com. Okay, alien mothership lurking in our solar system could be watching us with tiny probes, Pentagon suggests. Okay, this is March 23, 2023. Okay, so let's have a look for the news and past month. We'll do all the last month. But anyway, well, let's do videos quickly. Okay, as you can see, there's 1,000,001 videos suggesting that there's an alien ship outside our systems. So let's have a quick look at this TikTok and then we'll talk about it.
Now, I'm not sure if I should share this with you, but I slept with my tech-tighted Moldavite and asked to connect with whatever spaceship is above us right now, and they were so beautiful. The Pleiadians, so beautiful. energetic beings. Light blue, beautiful, magnificent, tall, elegant, and they emanate so much love. The spaceship, huge. I can't even describe how big it was. It was like a floating city.
Like a floating city. That's very interesting. And just while she said that word Palladians, and I apologize for the noise, of course. But anyway, I noticed she mentioned Palladians, okay, that the people aboard this mothership are beautiful, the Palladians, okay, very caring, loving, and all this kind of thing. Now, you know what's always struck me for at least since 2016 when I first heard of Melania Trump? I remember distinctly, and do you think I could find it to this day? No, I can't, but I remember distinctly seeing a video or a photo of Melania coming from a very weird place. She was born in a very weird place. It was not on a map that we know. And I know people are going to say, yeah, she's Russian or Yugoslav, whatever it was. No. This was like a weird place because they showed the coins, the money system that they had there. And the coin was two alien ships with like people and really tall beings standing next to each other on the coin. And that's just stuck in my head for like a decade. And I'm thinking, I always thought this is why she looks, her eyes are like that. She looks like a beautiful grey alien, like, to be honest, And maybe her and her husband, Trump, are the people to bring about the Great Awakening. They're the ones that really started. Trump is the one that really started with the whole, wake up and let's drain the swamp, and you've got to see what these people are doing underground, and making people aware that, these evil bastards are sick, and we need to remove and dissolve negativity in that life and that world, and we need to work towards and unite and walk together to the new heavens and the new earth. Okay, so I think this is all coming together, brothers and sisters. It's all coming together. Another thing, just want to mention while it's coming through my head now, apparently 11/11, Pluto is going to move into Aquarius after being in Capricorn since 2008. Okay, that's incredible, because we will definitely be finally going into the age of Aquarius then. Again, if you haven't seen my video, even Jesus talks about the age of Aquarius. Let's go here. We're going to go picture of water. And these are houses, and this is why they demonize astrology, because if you look into astrology, oh, that's demonic, the Bible says not to have any part of that. That's not true, brothers and sisters. Every other single culture on earth follows astrology. It doesn't mean we worship it, but let's have a look here in the New Testament. Jesus himself, the disciples are asking, where shall we have the Passover dinner for you, Jesus? And Jesus says, go into the city, there shall be a man there, and he's going to be bearing a pitcher of water. Go into that house and follow him, and there's going to be the whole table set up for you, ready to go. Okay, that's talking about the kingdom of heaven. Okay, in the age of Aquarius, in the age of awakening, in the age of finding and entering into the kingdom of heaven, which is inside yourself. This is what he's talking about. And then Jesus is, when he's having the wine and the bread with the disciples, he's like, oh, how I desire to do this with you, but I'm not going to drink or eat again until we do this together in the kingdom of heaven. And where is the kingdom of heaven? Inside us, brothers and sisters. This is what we're looking forward to. You don't have to be scared that the rapture is not real, or these are just terminologies, these are just words. In the end, the same result will conclude. whether we're raptured away, whether evil dissolves away and we walk into the new world and the new heavens. Actually, thank you. Let's have a look at this. I just got this put on my spirit just then, because I really do feel that us moving into the new heavens and the new earth slowly and in a physical and a tangible sense, rather than whoosh, being raptured. I think it's that slowly, with the evil dissolving and lightness and getting stronger and stronger and whatever, I think that's the truth. Because look at this in Joel. A fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness. Nothing shall escape them. Okay? So there's a fire behind them, and the Garden of Eden is in front of them, and they can't catch it. They can't catch it. Whereas we're going into the Garden of Eden, brothers and sisters, but they're going into the flames and dissolving. And this is why it's going to be evil shall be quenched. But again, I want to stress, we need to walk through this. We need to see this. We need to understand this. We need to experience it. We need to learn it. Otherwise, this could all happen again. This is how sin and evil will never be forgotten and never be repeated, because of what is going on right now. It's a wonderful thing. You are blessed to be here at this time. So, if I can't think of anything else, there's one last thing I want to share with you. Let's just go to YouTube, I'll have a look at my history, and history. Okay, this is the one I want to share.
That Imagifest.
Okay. This is called If Humanity Learns This One Truth, the Entire System of Suffering Collapses Overnight. Brothers and sisters, I cannot recommend this enough. It's an hour and 8 minutes. But like I said, make the time, or watch this when you have the time, because it is very, very rare that I will commit myself to a whole thing. But when this particular brother sends me things that resonate with him, 9 times out of 10 I know it's going to resonate with me, and boy, this was like spot on. So this woman explains a lot better than I do about the whole this is a dream thing, and how we're creating our own suffering here just by choosing it. It's incredible. You need to hear this. If you're suffering with depression, anxiety, all those things that humans go through, this could be a freeing video for you, brothers and sisters, because it really is a light bulby kind of a, oh my goodness, that is so freaking true. And it's such an easy way to change your mind, you know. It's such an easy change to do. So I'll try and link this in the description box. And I think that's all I wanted to share with you today, this afternoon. And I hope this video has blessed you. I know it's a bit of a weird one. I just felt like jumping on here and having a chat. And a chat I did. I love a good ramble. But I hope, like I said, I hope this video blesses you. You go have a look at your own research and things like this. Remember the key points. Mark is the original gospel. It doesn't have a birth story. It doesn't have a death story. It finishes Mark 16 verse 8. 9 to 20 were added. There's a mothership outside. Watch this movie right here. You'll see this is all a dream. This is why nothing can hurt us, nothing can touch us. This is why Jesus said, you got power over all the scorpions, serpents, and over all evil, and nothing will touch you. Because he wasn't bullshitting, brothers and sisters. Please watch this video. It'll free you. It'll really free you. Okay? It'll really free you. And I think we're getting closer and closer and closer to something really being tangible to see. And what she talks about here, you know, really understanding that we are experiencing this change right now, that we're moving out of the third dimension, and those that are stuck in this low vibration will stay in this third dimension and continue on, and they're going to have world wars. They're going to have the horrible things that they're fearful of and they continuously give all their energy to. That's okay. We love them. We love everybody, okay? And there's going to be others, hopefully a lot more, that are waking up, realizing that it's all about love and caring and being kind to one another, and wrapping this up, you know. And the more that awaken, the more the light, the candle will flicker and shine, brothers and sisters. Hi Karumba. That's going to be a candle on the hill, and it is going to light up the whole earth. This is exactly what Jesus was talking about. Because this is why he said you only need the faith the size of the size of a mustard seed, brothers and sisters. Because if you put mustard seed upon mustard seed upon mustard seed together, you plant them, you've got the biggest forest in the world. Giant trees. Okay, they're huge trees. You see what I'm saying? So cut the fear out. Cut the crap out. Look at a perfect example. Remember 2 weeks ago or a week ago, you know, Israel was at war. We're at World War III, like imminent, days away, hours away, were we not? You know, Iran attacked them, and, you know, this was it this time. Now you don't hear anything of it. This has been going on now. Can you see the pattern? Remember, October last year, we thought this was it. I thought this was it. But no, brothers and sisters, they're running on a script. They're running on a script, and this is why Father had put me into being, you know, a fanatical Christian, a fanatical rapture, Bible-believing Christian. Okay, so that I could get that crowd of people that enjoyed that, like I did. And now that crowd of people who have been chosen since the beginning can come with me on this journey. Some of you are like, no way, Jose, I'm off this ship, see you later. And that's cool. I still love you. But, you know, I really, really, really love you guys that have, you know, hopped on this long journey with me. And I hope that you've learnt and been able to unlearn a lot of things as well. So I will leave you at that. I hope this video has blessed you. Please watch this video. I cannot recommend it enough. And just relax. Live your best life. Joy. But just one more thing I wanted to throw in there. Because, you know, like I'm trying to be practicing this whole manifesting thing, you know, and being more practicing gratefulness and thankfulness rather than manifesting. But, you know, I'm like many people, like you'd say, oh, you know, I'd like to manifest money into my life or whatever it may be. And then you do that, you know, you're really good at doing that for like a couple of days, and then you're like, oh, this doesn't work, you know, there's no more money coming in my life. You may not say that out loud, but it's subconscious, so you stop doing it, right? And this woman was explaining that you shouldn't manifest, you should imagifest. I think that's what she called it. So she said you need to imagine the feeling. So what would it feel like for you to walk up to an ATM, put your card in, and then see $10,000, for example, on your bank account? She said you have to be in that feeling. That is what real thankfulness, that is what real joy, that is what real gratitude is experiencing the feeling. And see, we're told that feelings are evil, right? It's all making sense now. But to me, I'm like, that's why. She said her Imagifest works all the time. And I can vouch for this because, you know, I will say to the kids, watch this. We've got a main street here where I live, and it's packed every day because it's literally just one little main street in the little town that I live in, but there's heaps of shops there, and, you know, so everybody wants to be there. So very, very hard to get a car park. So long story short, I said to the kids, watch this. And I said, we're going to get a nice car park. Not only that, it's going to be in the shade. And that is like, that's the gold spot out of the, 200 car parks there is. That's the gold one. Sure enough, someone puts their blinker on to reverse out right at that spot. And I said, see, kids? And they were all smiling ear to ear. And I'm just like, why have we been told to feel bad for wanting good things? This is the hardest thing to move into, you know, when we start changing our perspective and stuff. It's so hard to move out of that I'm a filthy rag mentality. You know, that we've been told that we're not worthy and all this rubbish. And moving into I'm a child of the Most High. And, you know, I am thankful and I'm grateful, and, you know, abundance and happiness and health and strength and prosperity and finance and everything flows abundantly into my life. And I'm thankful for that. You know, it's just, it's like anything. It's an exercise that you have to repeat every day and many times a day if you can. You know, whenever you think about it, is to practice thankfulness and just be in the moment. And I think this is why they tell kids not to daydream. My goodness, that just occurred to me just then. Now, like lots of kids will just sit off looking out the window, thinking about being down at the river, catching frogs, and oh my goodness, brothers and sisters, we've been lied to. You know, and we're told not to do that. Oh, Jimmy's daydreaming again. Pay attention, Jimmy, pay attention. You know, when really Jimmy was living his best life. Being in his mind, in his heart, in his soul, in presence, in another place. And that other place is where he should be. You know, but we've been so indoctrinated to believe that we should be in that classroom with our hands up, going on lunch breaks in a prison formality format so that we learn that young. It's wonderful that we're going to escape this crap, and this is why Jesus came. Literally to help us escape from the matrix. He showed us the way, he showed us the example, we follow, we leave, we're out of here. Alright, enough rambling from me. I pray this video blessed you, and you know, you can go and do your own research or whatever it may be, but I love you heaps. Please watch this video, and I will see you in the next study video, hopefully. All right, God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.